Number 11. This is a resolution to approve a one-time, this is a resolution to approve the budget for 2011. Mr. Stan Grubin, would you present the budget, please?
Mr. Council President and Council ladies and gents and my mayor, I'll start out by saying that here is the budget that we're trying to pass. I symbolically give it to the city clerk. You all have a copy and we've looked it over several times, but I'd like to spend a few minutes telling you what went into the budget and some of the things that we agonized over and the result of it. First of all, $57,935,000 are all of the income that comes through this budget. 37 million of that comes from the utilities, and the other 20 million roughly comes from all the things that the city gets money on, taxes and so forth. So it's not a small deal, it's a big budget. I'll begin by saying that this didn't start in a smoke-filled office or in the mayor's office or in Lonnie's office or what have you. This started down the hall with a meeting of all of the department heads. And to them, this was on June the 3rd, we passed out templates for them to plug in all of the things that they intended to do during this year. They were going to discuss how many people in the templates, all of the line items in the general ledger that would apply to their organization. They were going to discuss the number of people, the supplies that they need, the special projects that they intended to do, which I'll cover shortly as I go along here. And they left that meeting and went out and created, filled up templates. And when they were all turned in, as the mayor said earlier tonight, they were $6 million over, more than we had income for. So that's the point at which the city administrator, the superintendent, the treasurer, and the finance manager on the city's payroll all got together and looked over all of these needs that were expressed in the templates. And they cut the numbers down by $6 million and got to a balance point. And at that point, we had public hearings. We had a whole bunch of public hearings on it. And I'd like to tell you about how some of that came out. These are the kind of issues that came up. This is the main stuff that really happened in there. The police department came in and the chief gave us a log on how the radio system is working. It was dropping calls. That's inexcusable. You can't drop calls. And he needed a new antenna system, and he had a proposal. And that proposal was accepted by the group and by the staff. A new fire truck. This city is growing. In the north of the city, they're going to build a fire station. The new truck is $350,000. We're going to put $100,000, it is proposed that $100,000 be put down on it this year and paid towards the end of the year, so, as the beginning of that fire truck total. You talked earlier about putting money in the bank, half of the, I won't go into that. That's emergency money though, and I will tell you, I know it's needed. There's road projects in there, they're for about $1 million. Now there's a whole listing of our roads and what condition they're in that Jennifer has, Jennifer Fiddler. And that will be done during this coming year, thankfully. The #1 priority item that was talked about, that based on all the needs of the city that were expressed, was a replacement of an old AS400 computer system. It was the #1 priority, rated by the Strategic Planning Committee. Here's another one, the Nick Center. If you go in the Nick Center now and it's raining and you're in the ballroom or you're in the card room, you're going to get wet. And if you look up, you're going to find that the tiles are missing, that they've been hiding the tiles until they need them when they have a special event, and then they go back and put them up again. So this roof leak has been going on for several years. It needs to be fixed. So money was put into that. Now here comes some heavy stuff. The sewer department, Dan McCrory, told us about our sewer plant has broken down with serious problems twice in the past 18 months. He showed us pictures of what was going on, and he talked about our need to upgrade that plant, both with new equipment, grinders and all that, and that that whole business for the next 3 years would maybe run us as much as $6 million. And then you talk about water pressure in Rock Creek. One of our committee members actually lives in Rock Creek, and it's not a joke. Their water pressure is horribly low up there. So we talked about extending for the water department pipes that go up and the money that would go with that, to extend lines, and also to begin a new water tower in that area is being talked about. But all of that stuff would be subject to the look of a professional who will come in and analyze the system, someone who doesn't have any skin in the game, someone who will look over it objectively, a real expert on the point. The gas company is going to replace the cast iron pipes that are in the street. They've got a program that goes for several years, and these pipes need to be replaced. They're very old and they're cast iron. The electric company, they're talking about a lot of poles and switches and transformers that need to be done. If you go down looking down alleys, which I did, it's pretty bad, some of what you see. Now, sadly, and the mayor mentioned it too earlier, there were no cost of living increases for employees in the city for the second time this year, and that's lamentable, because I know we got some good employees, and you just see it when you're around this place. However, I do want to mention there's a little bit of an offset that maybe people don't talk about, and that is when you retire from this city, if you're not Medicare eligible, the city has a program that will they'll pay for your health care till you get Medicare eligible. We put yield puts over $600,000 in that program. So there was some thought about the well-being of the employees in the city. And I just would say to you in closing, this is a tight year. All the folks who prepared the budget said it was a very tight year. We went line by line through all of this $37 million worth of expenses. This is a balanced budget, and I just offered up for your approval, and that's it. I've only touched the highlights. There's a lot more to it. Maybe you got questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grubin. You've done a yeoman's job, and we really appreciate the work that you've done, the staff, and the other members of the committee.